And in this video, I'm going to go through the review, try to make it easy for you, try to go through it kind of quickly and let you pause if you need to. I put in 2 questions like the geometry type from 5.5. That was a while ago. So I gave you 2 to practice and just some kind of other random ones here that we'll get through. So the quiz should be basically this length minus the first or the second question. So that's what we're looking at, okay? So let's get started here. So in this first problem, we are asked to write the equation of the 3 perpendicular bisectors. So just in general, if we have a line, a perpendicular bisector, right, would contain the midpoint of that particular segment, and the line that I draw is going to be perpendicular to that segment. So I want you to think about what that means. Every time we write an equation for a perpendicular bisector, we're going to have the midpoint and the perpendicular slope of the given line. And we know that that's opposite reciprocal. So let's jump into this right away. And here we go. So we have the point P is at 2, -1. The point Q is at 5, 3. And the point R is at -1, 5. I will draw this as best I can. Trying to do this right. Okay, so we have that. So what we need to do is draw the equations for each of the perpendicular bisectors. Let's draw the one that's the perpendicular bisector of PQ. Well, I need the slope of PQ, and that's going to be 3 minus -1 over 5 minus 2. Therefore, the perpendicular bisector, or excuse me, the perpendicular slope is -3/4. And the midpoint, if you remember, is the average x, comma, average y. So the average x here is going to be, what's that? 7/2. Comma, what is that? 1. And therefore, I want this slope and this line. So I can use point slope form to do that, and I will. All right, so therefore my equation is going to be y minus 1 equals -3/4 x minus 2 minus 7/2. That's my perpendicular bisector for PQ. We need to do one also for, let's do PR. There's going to be 3 of these. So for PR, my slope is, from PR, my slope is 5 minus 1, which is 6. 5 minus -1, rather, that's 6. And -1 minus 2, which is -3. I'm really bad at this, the tools here. Let me double check that. PR, 5 minus -1, which is 6. -1 take away 2 is -3. So that's -2, and therefore my perpendicular slope is 1/2. My midpoint of PR is the average x, average y, and that looks like 1/2, comma 4. I'm not writing out the formula for these. I'm hoping that that formula is apparent to you. And the equation of this line, the perpendicular bisector of PR, is going to be y minus 4 equals 1/2 x minus 1/2. And then what's the other one? PQ, PR, and then I guess QR. I'm going to run out of room here, so I'm going to do this on one straight line, straight across here. So QR, the last 2 points, I have 5 minus 3 is 2, Negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. So that's 2 over 6, 1/3. M equals 1/3. My perpendicular slope is therefore negative 3. I can squeeze the midpoint down here. For QR, average x is 5 plus negative 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 over 2 is 4. So I need the line with the slope of negative 3 and containing 2, 4. That's actually nice. That is y minus 4 equals negative 3x minus 2. Those are my 3 perpendicular bisectors. And number 2 just says find the coordinates of the orthocenter, which is the point of concurrency of the 3 perpendicular bisectors. If I draw these all, they're all going to intersect in one point. I'm not going to draw them on the figure. It doesn't matter. You might even know that like you don't even need the picture to do this problem. It's just there for convenience. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, not quite randomly, but I'm going to pick 2 of these equations to work with. Of course, I like this one because it's got no fractions in it, and I'll probably pick this one because the numbers look a little more inviting. So I'm going to just do a system of equations, and that is I'm going to set them equal to each other. Oh, by the way, look at this. Look at this. Let me undo this. Do you notice how these are both equal? Look at the, let me go backwards. You see how they're both equal to y minus 4? I can kind of use a cheat here. If they're both equal to y minus 4, then both of these pieces are equal to each other. That should probably be something you could do anytime because you'll probably have 2 of these points will have the same, well, maybe they won't always have that. But since I see it here, I'm going to use it. And I'm going to have here that 1/2 times x minus 2 equals negative 3 times x minus 2. And you know that trick by now. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to clear the fractions. X minus 2 equals negative 6 times x minus 2. I missed. Oh, hang on. It's x minus 1/2, right? The first equation. So, oh boy. We have that. 1/2 x minus 1/2 equals negative 6 x minus 2. All right, well, I still have a fraction. I'm not going to multiply by 2 again. I'm not going to do it. I'll try to make sure these are whole numbers for the problem. I know the fractions are a pain. It might be unavoidable. Here I have, I'm going to add 1/2 to the other side. Negative 6x plus 12 plus 1/2. Negative 6x plus 25 over 2. If I add the 6x to the other side, I get 7x. This is ugly. I just made this up though, so that's probably why it's ugly. I get x equals 25 over 14. And then to find y, I can simply plug it in. I'm going to use the bottom equation, the y minus 4 equals negative 3 times x minus 2. So here I have y minus 4 equals negative 3x minus 2. So y equals, I'm going to do the math here in my head. 25/14 minus 2. Well, 2 is 28/14. So doesn't this become negative 3 times negative 3/14 plus 4? This is 12/14 plus 4. There are 56/14 in 4. It's 12 plus 56. 68 over 14 or 34 over 7. Yikes. I hate that. For all of you, I hate it. Do not like the numbers at all. That's the final answer. That's the point of concurrency, assuming I've not made any mistakes, which is never a safe bet. But there you go. There's your number 1. I hope number 2 is easier. We're going to skip ahead. I'm going to do this in one straight video, unless my iPad tells me that I have to conclude. All right, now the medians, if you remember, a median is, if I have a triangle, right, and I've got three sides, a median goes from any vertex to the midpoint of the opposite side. It has nothing to do with perpendiculars. It has to do with like splitting the side in half and connecting it to the other vertex. So in this problem, they give me 3, 7. They give me -5, 1. And they give me 1, -3. So that's why, what's my order here? A, B, C. All right, so I have this. Whoops, that's ugly. Whoa, I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to use the straightening tool. Okay. Why does that go off to the side like that? I'll just do my best. I'm just gonna do that. We don't need perfection. Okay, so now for the three medians, we're gonna have one that goes from A to BC. Now remember, it's gotta connect to the midpoint. So A, we know is 3, 7. So from 3, 7 to the midpoint of BC, the midpoint of BC, average X, average Y. So that is -5 plus 1 is -4, over 2 is -2. And then 1 plus -3 is -2, over 2 is -1. Basically, I need the equation of the line between those 2 points, and that's my first median. This has a slope of -1 take away 7, -2 take away 3. All right, 8/5. So my equation is, I'm going to use the vertex as the point. I could use either one. I'm going to use the vertex here. Y minus 7 equals 8/5 X minus 3. That's my first median equation. My second one will be from B to AC. So B is -5, 1. What's the midpoint of AC? 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. Am I messing this up? B to AC. No, we're good. 7 minus 3 is 4. 4 over 2 is 2. All right, what's that slope? 2 minus 1 is 1. 2 minus -5 is 7. And again, I'm going to use this point here. By the way, aren't these much easier? Right? Y minus 1 equals 1/7 X plus 5. There you go. And then from C to AB. So C is 1, -3. And then AB, the midpoint of AB is -2 over 2, which is -1. And 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 over 2 is 4. That slope is 4 minus -3, which is 7. -1 take away 1 is -2. So Y plus 3 equals -7/2. X minus 1. There are other ways to write that, like you could use the other point rather than the vertex. I'm just trying to be consistent, and there's no reward for being consistent. I'm just doing it for the sake of teaching it better. All right, needed a sip of water there. Find the centroid, which is the point of concurrency of the three medians. Of course, I only need 2 of these to do it. And I don't see any advantage to any of these problems other than, what's that last slope? -2? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to do the first one and the third one. I like the 2 as a fraction because it's relatively easy to work with. And the 5 is the next smallest denominator. You pick your poison. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to do y minus, I'm going to set them both equal to y. I'm going to add 7 to the other side of the first. So that's 8/5 x minus 3 plus 7 equals, on the bottom equation here, -7/2 x minus 1, and I'm going to bring the -3 over. And that's the equation I have to solve. That does not look very pretty. Okay. Well, oh boy, I'll multiply both sides by 10. I mean, I can do fraction math. I just don't like it for everybody. So I'm going to multiply 10 by 8/5. That's 16. X minus 3 plus 70. Multiply everything by 10. And then this is negative 35. X minus 1 minus 30. This is all to find the value of x. So 16x minus 48 plus 70 equals negative 35x plus 35 minus 30. We'll do a cleanup step here. 16x plus 22 is negative 35x plus 5. I'm going to add 35x over and subtract 22. Oh, look at that. X is negative 1/3. It's I went a little fast on that. I apologize. It is negative 17 over 51, which is negative 1/3. And to get y, I'm going to use the bottom equation. I can use any one I want. Y equals negative 7/2 times negative 1/3 minus 1 minus 3. Lots of negatives there. Y equals, okay, negative 7/2 times negative 4/3 minus 3. This is 28/6. The product here is 28/6, which is 14/3. So negative 14/3 minus 3. I'll do it in 2 more steps. Negative 14/3 minus 3. Oh, come on. I'm too close to the bottom of the page. Negative 14/3 minus 3. And 3 is 9/3, so it's negative 23/3. My point of concurrency is negative 1/3, negative 23 over 3, and we're done. In my opinion, that's the hardest part of all this. So if you get through this one problem, not 2, you'll feel a lot better about the rest of the way. I think you remember this problem, a problem like this. Dave's Donuts is doing a monthly, 3 donut shops are doing monthly membership plans. You remember we talked about fixed costs and variable costs. So essentially for Dave's Donuts, maybe take a minute and pause the video and read it. I don't want to waste the time in the video reading it out loud, but essentially you've got 3 companies where they're going to do a program where you pay a monthly membership to be a part of the club, and when you join the club, you get discounted donuts. Sounds like a great business opportunity. Anyway, so Dave's Donuts, he's got a fixed cost of $20, and the donuts are $1 each. That's the variable cost, so plus 1x. East Coast Donuts, maybe related to East Coast Burger Company, which I went to about 10 years ago. It's been a long time since I've been there, maybe longer. I liked it. I don't know if it's still good. Maybe you can tell me. The monthly cost for East Coast Donuts is $10. And there, the donuts are $1.50 each per donut, I should say. And F, Friendly Donuts, is a monthly plan. Oh, look what I did. I messed up. I said it probably correct, or maybe I didn't. I put 10x as 10. 10 is a fixed cost, not a variable cost. F, Friendly Donuts has a monthly plan of a $5 fixed cost, but you have to pay $2 per donut. Right? So it seems like the more expensive the plan is, the cheaper the donuts are. Okay, look at that. So, yeah, I want to now, do I want to plot these? It's telling me to plot them. All right, so here, I hope this works on the straight line tool. My first one, D, I'm going to do I'll do that in red. That is $20, and the slope is 1. So I'm going to say every time I go up 10, I'm going to go over 10. Does that make sense? I don't want to go 1 for 1. And there's my straight line. Look at that. I will do East Coast in black, $10 fixed cost. And every time it's basically a 1.5, 15 over 10, right? I go up 15, I go over 10. Can I go over 30 and up 20? Is that going to confuse anybody? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go like this. Oh, I messed up. It's not going to work. Okay, redo it. Steady hand, steady hand. One more time. Nice. Okay, and then 5 plus 2x. So I'm starting at 5, which is a little weird. It's in the middle. Every line is worth 2. And then up 20 and over 10. Ugh, up to 25 here, and then over 10. Oh, I'm going to do that in, can I find blue here maybe? Let's do a purple. Do that one in purple. Where did I put that point? Oh boy, did I put it down? Oh, it's right, it's there, it's on the line. So here it is like this. I think I messed up, Nah, one more time. There we go. One more. If I don't get it, I'm gonna keep it, I don't care. Okay, that's good. And you know, I guess you could zoom in and really look at it. You'll use a ruler, straight edge, you'll be fine. But like the first question doesn't even rely on any of that. It's just what is the cost of each program for someone purchasing $30? This can all be mental math, okay? For the Dunkin', not Dunkin', what is it? Dave's Donuts, 20 plus 30 essentially, $50. East Coast, 10 plus 1.5 times 20, that's 10 plus 30, is that 40 bucks? And F, what was F? Friendly Donuts, 5 plus 2 times 20, that's 45 bucks. And that's the cost of each program. For what number of donuts is Friendly the least expensive? Friendly is purple. I'm going to zoom in. It looks like I actually found the point of intersection. I'd say it's cheapest from, I'll use my highlighter. It's cheapest from like 0 until we get to about, what is that, 10 donuts? So from 0 to 10. You could set the purple line equal to the black line, but I don't really want you to have to do that. Whoops. So if you make a nice graph, you should be rewarded for making a good graph. For what number of donuts is Dave's and the cost of Dave and East Coast the same, and what is that cost? Let's see, D and E, red and black. Where is that equal? I really can't tell. I think it's actually going to be 20. Maybe the lines are off. I don't know. Let's set it equal. It's good practice. And it's an easy equation. So D and E, we're going to go 20 plus X equals 10 plus 1.5X. You know, with the iPad, I really can't draw a straight line unless I use a straightening tool. And you can see by me doing this, it's not reliable. A ruler is more reliable than what I'm doing here. But at least my grid is even, and you'll have a nice even grid on the quiz. I subtract 10 to the left, I do get 10 here. I subtract X from both sides, I get 0.5X. And if I divide by 0.5, yeah, I get X equals 20 donuts. And what is the cost of buying 20 donuts at each place? Well, it should be the same, right? It's because they're equal. So 20 plus 20 for Dave's, that's 40 bucks. And 10 plus 30 for East Coast, yeah, it's 40 bucks. So that answers both questions. 20 donuts and $40. And for someone purchasing eight donuts who's got the least expensive program, you can tell from the graph, I believe. Purple is the lowest until 10. Didn't we say that in part C? So what's purple? Friendly. Okay. Last page, 2 more pages. The last one's a word problem again. All right, so graph the solution set. You'll like this. This is not bad at all. This is the solving a system of equations. So graph the solution set for the system of linear inequalities. Remember in this case here, like A, we're going to graph the boundary line. I'm not a big fan of this. I know it's in standard form. I don't like the intercepts. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go against my rule here. I'm going to put it in slope-intercept form. Because the intercepts are so close together, if you put it, the numbers are so small. I'm not going to make a graph that I am happy about. So I'm going to go y is greater than negative 3/2 x minus 1. Even this I'm not really happy about, but here's minus 1 is here. And then it's going to be down 3. 1, 2, 3. That puts me here and over 2. And it's going to be a dotted line. I actually have a straight edge. Let me see if this works. Is it going to work? Let me see. It actually works. I could have done this all along. Oh well. Sorry. It's a dotted line because it's not, the line's not included. And because I put it in slope-intercept form, I can simply shade above. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go nice and light because I'm going to do it with my highlighter. I'll go purple. I'm going to highlight it above, color it above. I kind of messed it up. Let me do it again. All right. Okay. My second inequality should be very easy to do, kind of easy to do. I'll do this one in, let's go red. Here I have 2y is less than or equal to negative x plus 2. So y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 1. So we'll go, here's my plus 1. Down 1 brings me to the origin. Over 2 brings me here. It's a solid line. So let's do that. I'm going to need to extend some of these lines here to make them intersect. Go back to my purple. Sorry, I got to extend. All right, so let me do that purple again. Here's my purple, and I'll do my red, which is actually kind of, can I do red? Yeah. Here's my red highlighter. Oh, it is below, by the way, isn't it? It's below. And you can see when I'm hitting twice, can't you? Right, I'm not gonna recolor it, but it's the overlapping intersection. What I will do is just with a pen, just for me and you, I'm gonna say this is the solution set right here. That little triangle wedge is the solution. Okay, and then this should be much easier. They're both in, one of them is a horizontal line and one of them it's in slope-intercept form. So I'll go black here for the first one. I'm not even gonna rewrite it. It's got a y-intercept of 2 and a slope of negative 4. So down 4 brings me here, over 1 brings me here. It is a dotted line, a dashed line. And just in case that's not long enough, I need to extend this here. Keep going down. And I'm going to extend it. It is going to be long enough because I know what the other line is. Okay. All right. And I'm going to shade below that line. I'll do this in purple. All right, everything below, that should be good enough. Get that colored in here. And the other line is just a horizontal line. Y equals negative 2. That's a horizontal line. It's also dotted. I'm not going to use a straight edge. I don't need it for a horizontal line. And I'm shading above because it's greater than. So I go to here, and I shade that. I'm going to do pink, and it's very clear to see the overlapping business here, right? This is my solution set right there. All right, hopefully nice and easy for you. Number 5, what system of linear inequalities is represented? We need to get the equations of each of these boundary lines. I'm going to call this 1 and 2. So line 1, my eyes are bad, I got to zoom in, has a y-intercept of 2 and a slope of, is that down 5? 1, 2, down 5 over 1. That's a negative 5. So this line here, line number 1, or inequality number 1, is comparing y to negative 5x plus 2. It's in slope-intercept form, and I'm shading below, so I'm going to call it less than. Line 2 has a y-intercept of -2 and a slope of -1. I should say -1, not -1. And I'm shading above, and that is that. That's my system. Nice and easy, right? B, same deal. I'll do the solid line first. We're going to call that line 1. That has a y-intercept of 3 and a slope of 2/3. So y greater than or equal to, I'm shading above, 2/3 x plus 3 for inequality number 1. The dotted line is line 2. It's got a y-intercept of -3 and a slope of down 4/3. And it is also above, but not including the line. Isn't that easy? Not bad. Finally, last question. This is like the blueberry strawberry problem. I had AI write this problem for me. I gave it the strawberry problem and it spit this out. You have at most $40 to spend on art supplies, where you're buying sketchbooks and paint sets. What we don't know is how many that we have bought. Let me take a drink here. We don't know how many we bought of each. That's going to be our quantity that's our unknown. So we're going to let x equal the number of sketchbooks that we purchased, and y will equal the number of paint sets. Well, I can spend at most $40. So the amount of money I spend has to be less than or equal to 40. A sketchbook cost me $5. So if I buy X of those, I end up with, I have spent $5x. Plus, I've spent $4 for every paint set. Did I say sketchbook before? I think I did. $5 for every sketchbook, $4 for every paint set. Covers the cost. But I need to buy at least 6 items total. So the number of sketchbooks plus the number of paint sets has to be at least 6. These are my 2 inequalities that I'm going to graph their solution set for. It should overlap. So the first one, which I'll do in black, has a y-intercept of 8 and an x-intercept. I did that backwards, didn't I? Has a y-intercept of 10 and an x-intercept of 8. I'll do the second one, and I'll graph this first. 0, 10, and 8, 0. Can I get that line tool working? Yes. Nice. And I'm shading below. Like the 0, 0 test would pass here, right? Right? 0 plus 0 is less than 40. So that's going to be under. I'll shade it under now. Just get all this stuff out of the way. I'll do purple. X and Y have to be positive. So you might have seen it pop up there. I'm selling my laptop, my old laptop, on Facebook Marketplace. And I'm getting people trying to bargain with me. Nobody wants to pay full price. Anyway, that's my first deal. And my second one I'll do in red. I'll do this in red. The x and y intercepts are both 6, aren't they? 0, 6. And 6, 0. So I got 6 here and 6 there. Can I do a straight line? Yes, I can. And I'll do this one highlighted in pink. Come on now. Did I do pink? There's pink. Okay. And it's going to be above. And you can see the overlap is just the in-between area, just like on the homework. All right. We're done. We've plotted the solution set. Anything that's colored twice is part of our solution. Now that you've graphed your solution set, choose a point in the solution set and interpret its meaning in the context of the problem. I'm going to pick a random point. I'm going to pick this one here. The ordered pair there is 4 and 3. This means I can buy 4 sketchbooks and 3 paint sets. I'm getting lazy here. you should write a full sentence. You can buy 4 sketchbooks and 3 paint sets. And then the other question is 6-2 in the solution set? Well, let's find it. 6-2. Yeah, it is. So I could buy that. I could buy 6 sketchbooks and 2 paint sets. All right, folks, that's all the time that we have done with that. I hope you find the quiz very easy. Again, I've been very happy with how well you guys have worked over the past few weeks. I've been pushing stuff at you when you've just been eating it all up. So want to say thank you, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll try to do more in the future. Thanks, everybody.